let's check in with Nate Rogers, who's got the story of the black man armed with a pipe who was killed by police in Brooklyn.
Bill, this really is a tragedy. Another black man, a mentally ill black man, shot and killed by police. But anyone with an open mind, knowing the details of this situation, may find it hard to point the blame. Now, Graham Weatherspoon is known for publicly speaking out against police brutality, holding officers accountable. A former NYPD officer himself, Weatherspoon served 20 years investigating everything from petty crimes to shootings of police and by police. When you look at the surveillance video, is there anything that police could have done differently when responding to the situation? Yes or no?
I doubt it, really. This is one of those split-second decisions. They received numerous phone calls.
Surveillance video shows 34-year-old Saheen Vassell walking up and pointing an object at people along Brooklyn's Utica Avenue. Some 911 callers reported the object to be a gun. When police arrived, they say Vassell stood with two hands and directed the object toward them. The Brooklyn father was shot 10 times, confronted by 5 officers. Vassell later dying at the hospital. That object was a metal pipe.
The 911 operator is not going to know the condition of this brother unless somebody called and said, well, it's so-and-so and he's got a mental problem or whatever.
Although challenged by bipolar disorder, Vassell was popularly embraced and labeled harmless by dozens in this community. Here's Vassell sweeping at a barbershop days before being killed. Vassell was also known by officers who patrolled the area regularly, although those were not the officers dispatched day of.
SRG, they're in uniform. They respond to bombings, shootings, terrorist events. That's what they respond to.
Digging deeper, Weatherspoon says this is yet another reason why resources for the mentally ill must be improved.
Our people who need help should be getting it from the government.
This is something families can't handle on their own.
Not on their own. They do need help. All families need help.
And Bill, another element I continue to hear from people nearby, when you look at other police-involved shootings, those involving a white suspect, for the most part, in the end, the white suspect remains alive. And that's what hurts so badly about this situation. In Brooklyn, I'm Nate Rogers for Chasing News.
Okay, thanks, Nate. Let's bring back the A-plus panel. We're joined by attorney Misty Maris, pop culture expert Lisa Durden, and attorney and editor of the Save Jersey blog, Matt Rooney. All right, Matt, I'm going to start with you.
He was in one of the most populated parts of the world with what looked like to everybody clearly some kind of revolver. Had they not shot this man and had he actually had a gun, the damage he would have done, oh my God. In addition to the gun control argument that would have ensued, we would have all demanded to know why law enforcement hadn't done anything.
So if they have a gun, you should have cost them, but you're shooting the man without knowing that? I think
that is such an easy thing to say when you've never been in that situation and you've never had to
I've seen white people fight cops, wrestle with cops, beat cops, and they still get arrested without incident.
It's so easy to be a law enforcement expert when you're on television.
Lisa, stop. But you saw the video.
I saw the video.
The 911 call had nothing to do with race. Cops show up, guy is pointing what they think is a gun.
That there's an issue.
Misty, as an attorney, I don't see how there's any question that the cops did the right thing here.
And in this case, the legal standard is it reasonable that those police officers felt there was an imminent threat to themselves or others? And if it's reasonable, which from looking at that video, looks like a gun. They're responding to a 911. If the community
policing was working,
but let Missy finish.
Go ahead.
They're responding to a 911 call. A 911 call about a person running around the street with what appeared to be a gun and going up to pedestrians walking on the street.
Lisa, can a crazy person commit a crime?
Absolutely.
But so even if they knew who he was, if they think he's pointing a gun at them on the street.
Don't cut me off. No, hold on. Don't cut me off. You're meshing things. This person was beloved in the community. If they were doing proper community policing, they would know, oh, this is like Joe Blow and here's what's going on. Not that you don't arrest that person. And let's just talk about the facts. Most people who are mentally ill don't commit crimes. Some do. But they didn't handle it with any kind of consideration.
Lisa, do you blame the community at all? You say he was loved by the community. I think it's a throwaway line that a lot of people are using now.
Not to me.
I think it sounds like to me maybe the community should have done a better job to make sure that this guy didn't get out of control like this. I want to know why he wasn't getting help. Why didn't somebody grab the pipe out of his hand? Why didn't somebody knock him down? I mean,
why didn't the cops do it? That was their job. Why didn't the cops knock him down and just arrest him? That's right. Why didn't they do it?
So it's the cop's job to protect the guy who's running around with what looks like to everybody a gun.
Every human being in the community.
Except
that they're
those that are
working
trying to
with.
take other
Everyone.
human beings'
Deadly
lives.
weapons.
Guys, gotta leave it there.
Last
Guys,
resort.
guys,
Not a
gotta
gun,
leave it
it's a
there.
pipe.
Guys, gotta leave it there. We could have a whole show just on that issue.
I know.